What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see I'm a little chill today. Y'all know I try to record these videos 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, trying to, it's my time that I can actually sit down and chill. You know, I drop every day, 12 p.m., 1 p.m. But seeing this happen, didn't really know too much about it, but I seen it come across, my YouTube, and didn't know nothing about it. And wanted to check in about it, and give y'all really my opinion on everything. But trying to be chill too. My 1-year-old is in there asleep with my mother. My mother came and spent the night with her, little girl's night. But I wanted to check this out, and prayers go out to both of the families. And I say both of the families just for the simple fact, y'all know in person, keep the peace. And, although I'm going to say what I needed to say when it comes down to it, one thing about it, this kid, Austin, literally, stabbed at a track meet. Like, just, I'm trying to still piece everything together. I have a million questions, and I'm sure a lot of y'all do too, with a lot of things. But one thing about it, prayers going out to these families. I'm telling y'all, bro, this is something that is definitely, and I say it, within anybody, right or wrong, I'm a child of God, and that's what I go by. But this is a sad thing, especially when it comes to Austin and his family. This Austin father, on Fox News. Let's check this out.
I want to clarify something right off the start, because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever. And
I do want to say, like, I'm not even gonna lie, that's why I say prayers go out to both families, because it does put an effect on, not only Austin's family. I think his father's name is Jeff. His mother, his twin brother. I'm hearing that he has a twin brother. But the person that stabbed him as well, their family, and as well as you all, everybody. This is definitely something that I feel is huge, something that is sad, and something definitely need to be out. Myself, from my understanding, I'm gonna get to it a little bit more, but this isn't everywhere. The only when it comes to mainstream media, I say, I've only seen it on Fox News, as well as other YouTubers, other, influencers that have shared this story, but it's pretty sad. This is Austin's mother. Let's see what she has to say as well.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
He was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother's lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
They've been like...
They are the best of friends. Like, just... I'm so worried about my son, because he's going to have to face this world alone now, because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's going to have to do it alone, and I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin Teddy?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from, he was trying to save his brother. But I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. they need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, you know. And Frisco Memorial has got a football program that's it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So
I'm gonna let y'all know something. I feel like this is definitely something that is very, very scary. Me, because I've had a situation to where I was in a position that his brother was in. One of my family members shot, another family member of mine right in front of me. Just hearing her saying, holding a wound, and it, just bringing back a lot of things, that's very traumatizing. I'm not even gonna lie, it's something that is very traumatizing. Even though it may not hit anybody now, that will go through anything like that, it will hit you later in life. I know, because I know from experience. That's why I wanted to, get into this story, because this is something that, and I'm sure I'm not, I'm obviously not the only person, but, and I've been through that with both of my closest cousins, and, back then, no, not as close right now. I'm telling you, it affects it affects everybody, families and everything. Going through a court process, everything. So one thing about it, from the father's perspective, saying it's not a race thing, saying it's not this. Me personally, I don't know the story, and I want to know more about it. But me personally, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If this was the other way around, when it comes down to it, meaning a white student doing this to a black, I don't care what nobody say, bro. Down in Texas, when it comes to anybody, I understand, the father saying it's a human thing, I get that. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, I look at the simple fact that, first of all lives matter, regardless of color. Y'all know me, I'm not a person that's gonna put too much of color. Oh, this person is doing, this person is. But me personally, I do want to hear more of the story. I'm play a clip of his brother telling the story, and I just want to say that it definitely is a sad thing, to see, sad thing to witness. And I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, that, like I said, if this was the other way around, whole city tore up, on every mainstream media, news, I'm talking about everywhere. It'd have been all types of protests, all types of, everything. I have not seen anything from a lot of mainstream media. I haven't seen anything from the Black Lives Matter. I haven't seen anything from, again, not even Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris. I haven't seen anything about any Democrats, when it comes down to it. But like I said, if roles reversed, it'll be something else. And that's what makes me mad about this whole situation. To the people that, I have been seeing negative comments, not only on my posts when it comes to stuff, on other YouTubers' posts, as well as X, that, not even gonna lie, this is something that, and I feel, me personally, this is something that I do look at, like I said, I know the father said that, but at the same time, I just hate the fact that this is not everywhere like it should be, because the roles reversed, it would be. This is Austin's twin brother.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could. But
so let me go back. I'm trying to figure out what this kid was. Is this kid? I have a lot of questions.
Our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw, and I mean, I try to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. That is pretty sad, and that is a strong individual to get up and talk about that. Like I said, even though the situation I went through, it was accidental. Talking about this is something that is very, very hard, to do and to deal with. Especially, talking to the news, talking to any reporters, talking during court. Everything is scary. I ain't even gonna lie, like it's, thinking about everything, it's pretty sad, with going through, everything. So prayers out, to his brother, to his family, because this is something that is completely sad. And I'm not understanding. One, I have a question on why that kid was at a track meet. This kid, I didn't even catch his name. This kid, black kid. I don't know his name, but I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to say nothing that is rude, mean. I'm not about that. My channel is not about that. And my character, but I'm trying to figure out why he had a knife at a track meet. Anyways, I feel like that is a big question that I have to ask: is why does he have a knife at a track meet? Why is he carrying around a knife? I have so many questions when it comes down to it, with this. This is Curl Swain, says awful. Let me go back so I can show y'all. Says, I'm terribly, terribly sorry for this young man and his family. We have a violence problem in this country that seems to correlate with race. No one seems bold enough to address this. If only black leaders would address this, address attitudes and behaviors that fuel racism and hold blacks back. Austin McCaff, hashtag Austin McCaff. And I absolutely agree with her when it comes down to, leaders in a black community. That brings me back when the whole George Floyd thing came about. When the whole Black Lives Matter came about, destroying things and doing this and doing that. When you had people that constantly go around and destroy things and do things, we've been talking about this whole week how, you have this person, Jasmine Crockett, that literally is, you have, these different, people on the left of inciting this violence and doing this and doing that. And I'm not saying that that kid, probably the black, I don't know his name, Carmelo Anthony, the name of the kid, that, stabbed Austin. One thing about it, that absolutely I'm trying to make everybody understand is that you have this kid, first of all, carrying around a knife. I still have questions about and why he's doing it, but you have these different people, and not to mention, Carmelo Anthony probably don't even pay attention to Jasmine Crockett or anything political, but at the same time, this is the things that you talk about when it comes to not having that leader. When you having people, these so-called black leaders that continue to incite violence or think it's okay to go out and protest and destroy and go do this and go do that. This is the problem right here. A lot of people, obviously aren't thinking that kid, Carmelo Anthony, made a horrible decision in his life. I'm talking about horrible, way past horrible, and took a life of a kid that I'm sure was great at football, having schools looking at them and stuff and all of that. But I just look at the simple fact that you have these so-called black leaders, and not one, I'm gonna go past, you know, having the black leaders. Not one Democrat I've seen say anything about this story, bro. That's what makes me mad about this. But again, if it was the other way around, it'd be different. So that brings me to this. You have somebody commenting up under this. I can't show y'all the picture right there because obviously this kid, Carmelo Anthony, posted pictures, you know, on Instagram with guns. His middle finger up, this, that, and the other. But then you have somebody posting, and this is what makes me mad. Said here, he was a captain of his school's football team. He was recruited. Let me click back on here. He was recruited by several colleges to play football with a full ride scholarship, but he took a knife to a track meet and someone angered him. Make it make sense. Now, let me say this. Regardless of what this Carmelo Anthony kid did, you know, in school, captain of a high school football team, had a full ride scholarship, this, that, and the other, that doesn't mean anything. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Doesn't mean anything when you taking a knife to a track meet, first of all, carrying around a knife and angered because somebody, obviously you don't belong, you know, in that tent, or you don't belong. And that's what I have a problem with when it comes to stuff like this. What makes me so mad is the simple fact that, you know, you have these different kids, especially in these, you know, black communities, that see a lot of things when it comes down to wannabes. You want to be this, you want to be that. You got a person that's literally talking about his kid had a full ride scholarship, this, that, and the other, but want to post pictures of him holding the guns with his middle finger out, with fire, and, you know, it's stuff. It's things like that. It's things like that. It's just it goes a long way when it comes to this stuff, and it definitely is sad. I'm telling y'all, it goes a long way, and I have to watch what I say on here, bro. I'm telling y'all. This says not a single word what happened about Austin McCaff from liberal news outlets. You don't see anything when it comes down to CNN. You don't see anything when it comes down to MSNBC, as well as New York Times. This is right here. Person that obviously has something to say, you know, about this as well as I do.
Well,
check it out.
Austin Metcalf lost his life today to the hands of Carmelo with a K, Anthony. And I've been waiting all fucking morning to see if any liberal content creators are going to come out and condemn the actions of Carmelo Anthony with a K. See, Austin was a 4.0 student, probably going to be a benefit to society. And he lost his life to this boy who didn't know that there's consequences to your actions, because that's just the society that a lot of these.
But then again, I feel like a lot when it comes down to it, because you have a lot of crime, like I said, when it comes to these, you know, black communities and stuff. I'm being so for real, and y'all know. You know the consequences of your actions. I'm gonna say that. A lot of people, obviously, it's like one of those things. Don't speak. You don't think before you speak. But at the same time, you know the consequences. I mean, you see it. I'm sure you know when social media is a big thing. Kids see it all the time. That kid was obviously angered, especially. I'm gonna tell y'all. I don't know the full story, but what I can tell y'all is that I gotta watch what I say, bro. I gotta watch what I say. But this kid, Carmelo Anthony, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing, that a lot of these kids know the consequences when they do stupid things like that. I'm telling you.
It's the society that a lot of these boys is raised in. Now, no one being outraged about this is kind of bothering me, because if roles were reversed,
exactly,
and Carmelo would have been taken down by Austin, we know what y'all would have done. And it's sad to see. So I wanted you to pray for his family and pray for the strength of that community. One day accountability will come into place, and I know who the accountability goes to. The Democratic Party and the people that they're allowing to raise these boys.
I'm telling y'all, I don't care what anybody say. It starts the Democratic Party. I don't care what anybody has to say when it comes down to it. And I feel like they are the main ones, you know, when it comes down to everything that's going down, when it comes to protests and when it comes to all of this violence in these different cities. And I'm telling y'all, these are things that are definitely, these are things that a lot of individuals, like this individual right here, literally says here, so let me get this straight. Jasmine Crockett assaults journalist. Admits she was hired for her skin color. It's stuff like that. And like I said, this kid probably don't even know who Jasmine Crockett is. Don't get to anything political. When it comes down to it, though, you don't have leaders. You don't have people that's actually trying to help, you know, these communities are trying to do anything to help. Although I don't know where this kid is from. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. I don't know where this kid is from. And then did that. But then again, when it comes to you have these wannabes. You want to have this person that wants to play like, you know, like that person got on there. He was a captain and he had I'm pretty sure he was that person was talking about the Carmelo Anthony kid, but just stuff like that, you know, that kid he did this and did that, but didn't want to play a part. Like, you know, you this thug, I'm telling y'all, bro. I'm telling y'all, a lot of this stuff, it completely throws me off. It completely throws me off. And I'm telling y'all, if the roles were reversed at any point, it'd be a different outcome, a totally different outcome. And everybody knows it. I'm telling you. Then you got, you know, people like this person. This is Reverend Ray. You know, this is a pastor. Mind you, a pastor. This man says, this boy's life is ruined for the crime of sitting in a white man's tent. Let this be a lesson to all black men around whites. You don't have rights. So you literally have this man, this pastor, that is, again, R-word, and thinking it's okay. And when you have these different individuals thinking that it's okay, you know, I'm telling y'all, bro. It frustrates me and it makes me really mad. It makes me really mad. And usually I have a lot to say, but I'm telling y'all, when it comes to this stuff right here, it just doesn't sit right with me. All the hate that you give, you know, this is what I talk about, you know, when it comes down to my channel all the time. The division, you know, just big hypocrites when it comes down to stuff. You know, Democrats, you know, just not having actual leaders and thinking this is okay to do. Mind you, this is a pastor. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sad. Definitely is sad. Like I said, my heart goes out to, you know, my prayers go out to Austin and his family. This is something that is definitely sad. It's even more sad that these news outlets, as well as these so-called Democratic leaders, the black leaders, haven't said anything about this. I'm telling y'all, man, it definitely is sad. Definitely is sad. Y'all let me know y'all comments and thoughts down below. Like I said, me personally, I don't know, you know, the full story, but from the looks of it, you know, if the roles were reversed, we all know what the outcome would be. And I hate that this story isn't as big as it is, but one thing about it, I'm glad like people like myself and other, you know, YouTubers, independent journalists, influencers are doing their best, you know, to get this story out here, because it definitely is important, you know, definitely is. Let me know your comments and thoughts down below. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.